Hey, PreSales Collective, it's your host, Mattie Stremic. And today I'll be joined by Winny Delcin, our training program manager, and Nina Berger, our career services manager, who both help make the PreSales Academy possible. The purpose of today's episode is to give you more exposure into our incredible Academy team, their backgrounds and roles, and insight into what's coming in 2023. I hope you enjoy.
Today's episode is sponsored by Consensus. Scale your pre-sales organization and deliver better experiences with intelligent demo automation. Experience an interactive video demo at goconsensus.com.
Hi there, my name is Yuji Higashi, co-founder of PreSales Collective, and I have big news to share with you if you're a pre-sales leader or an individual contributor early in your career. We recently launched 2 training and enablement programs aimed at helping you take your career to the next level. Both programs were created by pre-sales leaders with input from dozens of SC veterans across our community. Now, we'll be running cohorts each month, so if you're interested in participating, visit us at presalescollective.com/enablement to submit an inquiry, and we'll send you details about each program, including this curriculum and schedule. We look forward to working with you on growing your career and being part of your career journey. Thank you, and I hope to see you soon.
Welcome to the PreSales Podcast, ladies. I am so excited to get to chat with you guys today about your work at the PreSales Academy and all that we're doing to help individuals break into presales. So last week, we actually all got the opportunity to get together and get to know each other and plan for 2023 in my hometown, Nashville, Tennessee, and would love to know what was y'all's experience at the Offsite. And, how do you feel about actually being on this podcast today? Nina, why don't you go first?
So I went to grad school in Nashville. So being back in the city was super fun. It was great memories, but it was so nice to meet everyone in person. I feel like once you get away from that Zoom room and see everyone in person, the ideas just start flowing. And I'm really excited to dive deeper into what we have planned and hope to accomplish in 2023. I just love being in a space where people are like, okay, let's share ideas. Let's challenge the ideas to make them better ideas. And also I like seeing how tall everyone is. I think that was something in the back of my mind. I was like, I wonder how tall everyone is. And everyone met my expectations.
That is amazing. I think Kevin is the tallest of us all. Kevin Mefford. Was that what you were expecting, Nina?
I was expecting that. I was like, Kevin gives me tall energy.
What about you, Winnie? What was your experience of the Offsite last week?
I had an amazing experience in the Offsite. That was like one of my very first Offsites in general. So it was super exciting for me. I really loved all the energy, and it actually made me, miss being in person because I'm a diehard, work from home, remote only person. But honestly, the energy transfer, the transitioning of ideas, I just really enjoyed it. And it was such a good experience. And it was really good to see what people look like off Zoom, because I think people look really different off Zoom, in all honesty.
Yeah, it's hard to tell people's heights and, even their mannerisms when it comes to Zoom. So much can happen when it comes to brainstorming and actually planning when we're in person versus remote. I think that there's nothing like it. So it was honestly so great to actually meet you guys in person for the first time. And I'm excited for this episode so that the PreSales Collective community can get to know both of you a little bit better and understand your roles at the PreSales Academy. So it's my understanding that prior to joining the PreSales Collective, neither of you guys had heard of what pre-sales is or what the function is in tech sales. So I'm curious, Nina, why don't you go first? What made you want to join this organization and ultimately help individuals get into pre-sales?
So you're correct. I did not know what pre-sales was until I applied for this role. I was like, okay, it's sales in technology, so they help sell software. That makes sense to me. But what really kind of drove me to wanting to jump into the PreSales Collective space and work with y'all was I felt like working for pre-sales Academy and PreSales Collective really continued my ultimate mission of helping people learn and grow. I got into higher education because I liked being in a space where I can help students feel like they're learning beyond the classroom. They're challenging themselves and they're learning skills that can really shape their lives and complement the skills that they would bring into the workforce. And I also love the idea of, hey, in college, you're able to find your community, find your people, and find people who can support you and help you through this kind of big transition in your life. So when I was kind of doing more research about PreSales Collective and PreSales Academy, I saw a lot of alignment in that area. We're helping career changers launch their careers in a new area. We're helping them learn new materials so they become better professionals and find careers that they feel more fulfilled in. And I think being part of that mission is something really amazing. I think it's also amazing to be in a space that's like, hey, we see some faults in our profession and we want to work to improve them over time, whether that is increasing diversity over time in the profession and challenging how we do things. So I think those are some things that really pushed me to want to dive into this role and really be part of an amazing team.
I really like that point that you brought up as far as community and seeing alignment there between higher education and PreSales Academy. We often talk about it like it's a community within our community because we see our PreSales Academy graduates really cling to each other, really support each other in a whole nother level while also being a part of our greater PreSales Collective community. We have been so lucky to actually have you on board, Nina. You've done an amazing job really up-leveling our admissions and our placements and marketing. And Winny, same to you as well. It's been so exciting to have you on board and see you make an impact, but would love to kind of know what led you to join the PreSales Collective.
So I previously worked on a fellowship called the FATE Fellowship, which stands for the Foreign Affairs Information Technology Fellowship. And their mission was to diversify the foreign service. And even before that, I worked in higher education. I really just love the nature of the work, right? So I truly believe the stars aligned when I found PreSales Academy. And then during my research, I saw the mission and the values were aligned with exactly what I was looking for, which was helping others. And so I thought it was a no-brainer because PreSales Academy would allow me to do what I did at the FATE Fellowship on a grander scale, helping career changers who I might add aren't typically supported because the majority of career support goes to recent college graduates. So I was really excited for it because I found that PreSales Academy is changing people's lives in general. That definitely drew me to PreSales.
That's such a great point as far as, a lot of existing programs and support does go to college grads. Although we do, occasionally accept college grads that are fresh out, we focus on career changers that are oftentimes 3, 10, or even 15 years into a completely different career that now want to break into pre-sales. One of the things that you all both mentioned is working in higher education, and you all both happen to have master's degrees in higher education. How would you say that background has helped prepare you for the role? I'll pass this one to Winny first.
I definitely feel like both of my degrees. So my bachelor's degree is in psychology, which is the study of people. So just the degree in itself, the name of the degree in itself explains how it helps because I work with people in my job every single day. But specifically the higher education degree, there were difficult courses, right, that taught me critical thinking skills. And I really learned how to solve complex problems. An internship that I did specifically with Florida International University, which allowed me to kind of work on e-learnings and get some practice in facilitating, I definitely think gave me a leg up for this position. So I kind of came in with that experience already.
Definitely. What about you, Nina?
Similar to Winny, yes, my master's degree is in higher education administration. My undergrad degree was actually in communications. So I feel like that goes a lot into the admissions process of, hey, how are we actively bringing in a pipeline of students who are interested in the program through our marketing, but also actively keeping them in the loop on changes and making sure they're updated about the process. I find that my degree from my master's program was really broad because it was focused on so many different sectors in higher education. So it gave me this ability to learn skills like project management, how to develop curriculum, how to develop application processes, which I think really filters into the different areas in which we deal with in PreSales Academy. So I'm able to kind of leverage those project management skills to make sure that, hey, are things moving forward? Are the appropriate stakeholders looped into the space? I also find that just my work experience really helped give me that good mindset that transfers over into PreSales Academy. I used to work a lot with learning communities. Context about learning communities, it's basically a collection of students who are living together and learning around a certain topic. So it requires additional programming. A lot of these learning communities have application processes. And I find kind of being a program manager of that element of kind of the housing experience really helped drive my knowledge and kind of applying this into PreSales Academy.
Well, I know prior to you all coming on board, it was Yuji and I tried to do a lot of things across the board. And when it came to, filling these two roles, we really wanted to pull in individuals that could hit the ground running and that were bringing some expertise to the table. And so we couldn't have been happier in bringing you guys both on board and seeing what you guys are doing today, which for the sake of the audience, Nina, as the career services manager, why don't you tell us a little bit about your role and what you do at PSA?
I feel like I give this spiel every time I'm on an admissions call or an info chat. So my role as a career services manager is I oversee the admissions process and the career placement process. I like to say I'm on the front end and back end of our students' experience here at PreSales Academy. So first, I kind of see, hey, do they make a good fit for PreSales Academy? When we're looking for a fit, we're looking for a good mutual fit. And so I kind of help lead in the different steps of that process. And then on the back end, I help with career placement. So once our students have graduated from the program, I help kind of coach them and guide them through that job search process, which it can be a hard process. And it's nice to have a cheerleader on your side to kind of make sure you are putting out the best materials, you are maximizing your opportunities, as well as knowing, hey, what do I do when certain situations come up in my job search process? I love chatting with students about random questions that come up in their search, as well as negotiations. So it's really nice being on the front end and back end and really seeing the whole journey our students are going through for PreSales Academy through my role.
It's funny because we do have probably 100 different Slack channels because we have Slack channels with each individual student, including our whole team. And I will say, Nina is always so quick on those Slack channels. If a student has a question about the job placement process, you are always there, super quick, answering and providing a ton of support and offering your calendar for dry runs. So even before I can even see the message pop up, you're already on it, which I love it. You're very proactive and efficient in your communications. A key part of your role really is up-leveling our admissions process and managing that. Could you tell us a little bit about what that process looks like for interested candidates?
So when we're talking about admissions, like I said before, we're looking for a really good mutual fit. So on our end for PreSales Academy, we do have a set of criteria we kind of look at for students. And then on the students' end, we really want to make sure that, hey, if you are looking into a program that helps with your career change, that you know that PreSales Academy is the right fit. So for the student end, we really focus on, hey, do you have any questions in this process? How are you feeling? Making sure that, hey, you know that this is the best next step for you in making a change in your career. But then on our end, so I talked about criteria. The criteria we really focus on with our students is called the 5 C's. So what do those C's stand for? It is first, commitment. Are you committed to making this change and launching your career in pre-sales? The second is curiosity. Curiosity usually goes into kind of the technical side because this is a technical role. So thinking about, hey, are you willing to dive in, learn new technical topics and really lean into the space that, hey, I am working with a software product and I'm going to need to know a lot of technical foundations to be successful in this area. The next one we focus on is critical thinking. So are you able to kind of come into a space and apply a lot of problem solving to support a prospective customer? The next one is communication skills. When I look at communication skills, I'm looking for good written communication, but also verbal communication, which I think really filters into your ability to be present in the space and command a room when handling some of the most pivotal aspects of a role in pre-sales, which includes kind of that discovery and demo. So we really focus on, hey, what is your presence? What's your communication style? And can that style really connect well to a pre-sales role? And last but not least, we really focus on coachability. A big part of our process and program is really bringing in mentors and coaches to give you that feedback so you're continually growing. And we're looking for students who are willing to accept that feedback and run with it. Because ultimately, if you're not willing to accept that feedback, it's going to be a hard process to continually grow and get you to that stage that you're going to thrive in a pre-sales role. So that's a little overview of the process. The way that we accomplish this is through an initial written application, application, which I review. I'm always looking for specific examples of how you've had past experiences or transferable skills that kind of connect to this field. And then we kind of continue on with different steps, whether that is a video interview, an admissions call, and also thinking about maybe doing a technical exercise and then continuing with next steps in enrollment. So overall, the different steps of the process really speak to let's look and find these different criteria we're looking for in a candidate and making sure ultimately they're a good fit and they're going to be successful in this program, but also successful in this field.
What I love about our admissions process is that it really does focus on those 5 C's and isn't just focused on the types of experience that individuals have. I think this is really what allows us to cast a wide net and, serve diverse individuals and underrepresented groups, because we are looking for, that communication and coachability, their ability to talk about their transferable skills. But we're not only letting in individuals with an engineering background or a software developer background. A lot of our students happen to be educators, and they've happened to do really well in our program. And when it comes to landing jobs, I think sometimes, Nina, that they might be some of the first that land roles after graduating. Is that right?
I've noticed that trend a little bit. Our students who come from like non-traditional spaces or don't have technical backgrounds are able to really leverage their transferable skills and land roles really quickly. But yeah, I mean, I love those notes. Ultimately, yes, I love seeing students who come into this field with backgrounds that I didn't expect to see interested in pre-sales. I think that really gives me a great challenge of seeing, okay, how do you fit and how are you going to leverage your transferable skills to really thrive in this area? And I love when people kind of prove to me that, hey, my years of experience in this unique industry really connect well here because I bring this ability to communicate new thoughts and bring in new ideas. And I'm really hungry to learn more and push myself to accomplish this goal of landing a role in pre-sales.
That commitment and that hunger is so important. And that's really what helps them succeed, because we can only work so hard. And when it comes to supporting and providing ideas and coaching, it's that individual drive and commitment that I think that helps them persevere at the end of the day. So Winny, kind of on your side, there's a point in time where after Nina accepts individuals into the program, she's passing off to us on the programming and training side. So would love for our audience to know a little bit about what you do as our training program manager.
So as the training program manager, I pretty much am the administrator for our LMS, which is MindTickle. So I do a lot of work on the back end to ensure students' assignments, e-learning courses, et cetera, are ready to go. I also work with the head of programming, Mattie, to ensure that the curriculum and the programming is definitely setting up our students for success. I also serve as the facilitator and lead a majority of the sessions while ensuring students are supported, because I also serve as an advisor where I meet with students one-on-one and provide them with guidance and support throughout the program. So I do quite a bit as the training program manager.
I think we all wear a lot of hats around here, but that's part of the fun. One thing we've been talking about, Winny, is our program has only gotten harder and it's going to continue to get harder. We are also providing a lot of support along the way. But as we think about 2023 and some of our plans, we're going to make some changes to the program and thought maybe you could provide a little teaser for the audience about what that might look like.
So we're actually restructuring the program into 3 stages. So the first stage will allow students to complete foundational pre-sales assignments, completely self-paced. And what this does is it allows students to really learn at their own pace and also really assess whether pre-sales is a right fit before getting too deep in. We're also refining our content to ensure that the program is still interactive, engaging, but also real world applicable. And then moving on to the second stage, this is where we kick off our live sessions. So students would already have that foundational knowledge, allowing them the space to practice discovery and demo role plays with their assigned coach until they're able to really build that competency. And there will also be some workshops built in to help them refine their skills. Students will also be assigned a mentor during stage 2. And then moving into the final stage, which is the job pursuit portion, students will be given that interview coaching, the resume reviews, and career support in general prior to graduation. And so we have a pretty robust program loading, and I'm beyond excited for its launch. But that's just a little teaser. Can't give y'all too much.
We definitely have our work cut out for us the next few months, but it's interesting. So when UG and our career advisors and subject matter experts originally built this program over a year ago, it was sort of like everything you need to know about pre-sales in a 10-week program. And over time, we've made some changes and we've realized, the desired outcome here is really to have students land a job and be able to start a career in pre-sales being set up for success. And so this has caused us to kind of rethink some of our curriculum and our structure to actually narrow it down and be a little bit more strategic about everything that they need to know to get to that point and be successful. Some of the feedback we got from students is feeling a little overwhelmed because we were talking about everything about pre-sales under the sun. So now we're doing some refinement, a little bit more hands-on projects. So I think that's a great teaser, Winnie. I think it's going to be some excellent changes, and I'm really excited to see where we end up in January. Now, with some changes that we're making, we're also doing more on the placement side of things. So Nina, tell our audience a little bit about what we're doing to, really help students land jobs into the new year.
With placements, what we've noticed over the past year is that everyone's job search process is a little bit different. What really helps our students land jobs and get their foot in the door is really expanding their network. So what we've been shifting already is really focusing our students on, hey, how do you network early on and start making a name for yourself in this space? How are you introducing yourself, getting to know companies, and really setting a strong foundation of people you know? And then on our end with PreSales Academy, we're really focused on now, hey, how are we really sending out the word about PreSales Academy and what our graduates are and what they can offer potential hiring managers teams? I think we are slowly kind of inching our way into certain companies, but there's definitely more we can do in regards to marketing, connecting with hiring managers, and really selling the value of our students, which is funny because our students learn value selling and now we have to sell the value of our students just to connect to hiring managers. So what we're really focused on is getting the word out and really showcasing that, hey, if you are a hiring manager looking to bring someone new onto your team, there's a lot of value bringing on a career changer from PreSales Academy. They bring a new variety of thought. They come to the stage with a lot of base level skills that, you will have to ramp up with any other candidate. So our students coming in are able to jump into the role really quickly and smoothly. And that is honestly a benefit when you're thinking about the time it takes to onboard a new perspective solutions engineer and kind of bring them into the team and finally kind of get them integrated to meeting your clients. That is something we're really focused on. Another thing we're focused on is making sure our students have the right resources and the right opportunities to practice and feel like they're supported through the process. So actually, this is launching next week. Everyone's going to find out about it very soon, but we are starting some job pursuit office hours for our graduate students. So we are giving them space where they're going to come together with PreSales Academy staff, and we are going to talk about reminders about the job search process. We're going to bring in guest speakers. We are going to do some practice in regards to skills related to your job search. So really helping our students continue on that job search process, make sure they feel supported not only by us as staff, but also as their peers, and know that they're not alone going through this process. Everyone's job search looks different. Some processes are quicker than others. And it's all about, hey, how are we continuing motivating you and getting towards that goal if that goal is still something you want to achieve? So those are some things we're focusing on. We're also kind of dabbling into, hey, what research is out there, what feedback is out there in regard to how we can improve placement. So we're looking into doing some surveys with kind of volunteers in our network, as well as hiring managers, just to make sure, are there things that we are missing in regards to placement that we can do to improve our students and improve their chances of getting their foot in the door and landing a role. So those are some things we're focused on in the next couple of weeks going into 2023. We're continually seeing improvement in placements in regards to students landing roles and finding jobs that they feel like they can thrive in. I'm excited for these changes. I really think it's going to really elevate this experience for our students in the months to come.
I couldn't agree more. And I think it's a common theme in both what we're revising about our curriculum and what we're thinking about with placements is really focused on that end goal is how do we better set students up for success so they can pivot and find a pre-sales role that's a great fit for them and is a good fit for the company. So appreciate all your work on the placement side of things. It's very daunting for the students. And, we put a lot of energy into supporting supporting them, and especially you as in driving kind of our placement strategy. So excited to see what this is going to look like in 2023. When thinking about individuals that want to break into pre-sales and are considering PreSales Academy, Nina, what advice do you have for those interested in PSA?
What advice I have for people who are interested in PreSales Academy is, first of all, do your research. And second, take your time. I think a lot of interested students who kind of come into this space, they kind of jump in head first. And instead, they need to kind of take a step back and do your research. Is this a career you want to pursue? Are all these elements of the role something that's interesting to you and exciting to you? And are the subject matters in regards to technical foundations and learning skills like discovery and demo, things you want to sink your teeth into and learn? Because if it's not, and if you don't take that time to do the research, you might end up kind of going later in a process or realizing, hey, this is not a good fit. Let me shift gears. I also think the research really couples well with taking your time. I think some people jump in as like, this is perfect for me. I've done a lot of research and want to dive in now and immediately land a role. I have found with PreSales Academy, especially for our admissions process, that a lot of students are interested in our process, which requires us to continually be reviewing applications. For example, I'm already reviewing applications for our January cohort. And I think it's just being mindful of, hey, this change and this transition is going to take a lot of time. It's going to take you time to apply and potentially get into PreSales Academy. It's going to take time to go through the Academy curriculum. And then afterwards, it's going to take time to apply to roles, interview for roles, and land that good fit for a job and long run. So ultimately, I would say focus on doing your research, asking those good questions, whether that is doing research on our website, connecting with alumni, and also connecting with our staff. I love answering questions from prospective students. So please send them our way, set up time for a 15-minute chat, and just take your time and be mindful of, hey, it's going to take time to make this career transition. It's not going to happen within a month. Just be mindful of that going into the process. And, if those questions and you want more insight, please reach out. We're more than happy to answer those questions and make sure you're feeling supported in your exploration of this field.
That's such great advice. Really doing the research, really, looking at what the role entails. One thing I will say is I have never met a sales engineer or pre-sales professional that hated what they did in their job. Maybe they didn't love the specific company that they're with, but I've never met someone that actually hated what they did on the day-to-day, which I think speaks a lot about the type of profession that pre-sales is. So if you're interested, take Nina up on her offer, book some time with her and our admissions team to chat, learn more about pre-sales, and take your time with it. Winny, I know we work together to support and work with our incredible career advisors. So these are our mentors, our facilitators, our coaches, our content subject matter experts. What advice do you have for those in the community who want to get involved with PSA and lean in some capacity?
My advice would be to identify the skills or the knowledge that you have to offer, whether that be mentoring, whether that be facilitating a live session, and just reach out to us. You can reach out to us via LinkedIn. You can also reach out to us via email at info@presalesacademy.com. And you can just take a trial run to see what the commitment looks like and see if it's something you can really take on. And if it seems like the right fit, join us. We're always looking for fresh ideas and perspectives. So honestly, come on, come on.
I love it. Our career advisors are incredible. Working with them is probably one of my favorite parts of the role. So if you're interested, like Winny said, definitely feel free to lean in, figure out which role is a fit for you. The mentor role is a little lower commitment, where the coach is a higher commitment because you show up and actually coach role plays. But we do get a lot of feedback that that's one of the more rewarding roles because you actually see the skill development over time of students from their first demo role play, which might not be an A++, to their last, which usually ends up being an A++. So it's a really rewarding experience, and we'll send you some swag. So if you're interested, definitely let us know. Well, ladies, it's been such a joy to chat today. And also it's a joy every day to work with you guys. You've really been able to take all of our programs and our processes to the next level, and seeing that happen over the last 6 months has been really incredible. My last question for you guys before I let you go is, what are you excited about personally as you think about going into the new year and, accomplishing some of these projects, but growing as professionals? What does that look like for you guys in 2023?
What I'm really excited for in 2023 is to just continually maximize our experiences, especially on the placements and the admission side. I love being in the space and being with a company that's like, hey, we're constantly looking to make this better. So I love that challenge of, okay, let's apply these changes. Let's see how they go and then adjust and pivot as necessary. I also think for me, just being so new to this industry, I'm really excited to continually grow my network, get to meet more people who are interested in pre-sales, and continually hear stories about how people are motivated in this field and want to continue working and giving back to those career changers. So those are some things I'm excited for in 2023. I feel like the world is our oyster in this space, and it's really awesome to be in a company that really allows us to challenge what exists and kind of push things forward and improve an industry that's a really amazing space to have a career in.
No, I think that's great, Nina. And just to echo that, I'm also excited to really implement the changes for the program, but most importantly, grow my network. And for me, especially, I feel like I'm excited to become exceptionally comfortable with the material, because a couple months ago, I didn't know what pre-sales was. So it's definitely been a learning curve. And so I feel like I'm really starting to understand and obtain the skills that pre-sales involves. And so I'm super excited to see where I will be next year, because if I'm feeling like this right now, I can only imagine how much more I'll learn and grow.
I can't wait to see where we're all at in a year from now. So thank you guys so much for coming on the PreSales Podcast today. And I think the community will be happy to know more about you and the role you guys play at PreSales Academy, because it's such an impactful role. Thank you both for joining me today. And thanks again.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Mattie.
Thanks for joining for another episode of the PreSales Podcast. It's been pretty incredible to see this team grow, and we honestly couldn't be happier with the impact Nina and Winny are making on the lives of our students. If you want to get involved with PSA as a career advisor, are thinking about going through the academy, or want to hire some of our students, definitely feel free to reach out. Let's continue to do everything we can to raise awareness of the best profession in tech. See you next time.